Namaste, welcome to everyone. Another episode of Navimas podcast. So today we're going to start a new book, a very important book. We had actually interviewed the author of these books. So one you can see is a Bengali translation, and you have the English book, the original book, and its Bengali translation. So we had actually interviewed both the authors, Mr. Deep Haldar, uh, an editor in the print, and also Dr. Abhishek Bishras, a historian and academic. So both of them wrote this very landmark book, which both of the authors we had actually interviewed, and we had multiple interactions with them. Do let me know if the audio is correct because I'm using a new device. So there might be some audio issues. So do let me know if you are able to hear me correctly. That would be helpful. We'll continue to read new books, invite new authors as well. But I think this is an opportune time, correct time to actually read this book, discuss the content of the books, and let's see what happens. So let me just now load the book itself. And also I need to increase the page fonts as well. I'll do that eventually. Yeah, looks okay. Let me share the book anyway. So this is the book, Being Hindu in Bangladesh. This book is a very landmark book. This is available online. So I would request everybody who is listening to this now, this live stream, and if you're going to watch this later, do consider, do consider purchase the book. And people who may not be aware of the book, its review, how it was received. It's a old book, considerably old book. So let's go through a few reviews of the book just to jog our memories. That's why we are reading this book and why this is important. So before reading the book itself, let's go through a bit of reviews of the book which was there. So let me share the first review of the book. So okay. Yes, Hot TV. We have seen. So that's why I am reading this specific book because due to a lot of considerations, you cannot talk about the incidents happening in Murshidabad. But should we not talk about it? In that perspective, it is important that we talk about similar aspect that is happening now in West Bengal. Let's go back into history, go back into time and discuss what already has happened. So we can derive lessons from these. So that's why we am doing this stream. So actually just tell people what has already happened and what awaits many of the people who are living in West Bengal, and to maybe give them something to ponder about, to think about, that what has already happened to their brethren in Bangladesh and what awaits them. So that's why it is important to that we read this book on a regular basis. A lot of things are there which we cannot read, but we'll try to do as much as possible. So this is the first review. I'm going to read the review itself so that you can understand why I am reading this book. Why this book is very important for all of people of every state, every ethnicity should read this because it is not only that it has lessons for every community in Bharat, especially dharmic communities, that to what could happen to them, and they can derive lessons from it. So this is the first review I'm going to read, Being Hindu in Islamic Bangladesh, book review. So this so now the book review, Being Hindu in Bangladesh, an Untold Story. Hindu women can't marry Muslim men in Bangladesh. Couple must declare they are atheists first. The book, Being Hindu in Bangladesh by Deep Haldar and Abhishek Bishwas, published by HarperCollins, is a result of their extensive research to find the truth behind the statistics on atrocities against Hindus in the Muslim majority state. First, those who carry the scars of partition more than 7 decades after arbitrary lines scarred the subcontinent. Home is still on the other side of the Padma River. They pine for those who were left behind as the great mass of humanity moved from east to the west of Bengal to the settle in Hindu majority India. Okay, do let me know if you can. Namaskar, Abhay. Okay, Dada, do you know? Okay, I am going to, let's see, I'm going to open up the stream for people because people might have a lot of things to say, but do keep the conversation civil so that we can discuss. Yes, so, Dada, know, do you know Mohua was so worried about fish selling outside India because she is being educated no north of. Okay, understand. Yes, 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 yes. I understand. Okay, so yes, so it is important. See, a lot of people who are our audience know a lot of things about it, but unfortunately, a lot of people do not know about it. So via these readings, via this analysis, via these discussions, we are playing our part to disseminate the information already available, which is not something which everybody would have. And let me do one more thing. Now it is there. So let's go through this. It's important. Okay. A pine for those who were left behind as a great mass of humanity moved from east to the west of Bengal to settle in Hindu majority India. Where are they today in the land? Where are they today in the land that was then West East Bengal, which became East Pakistan in 1947 and then Bangladesh in 1971? According to an estimate from the Bangladesh Bureau of Statistics, there were 17 million Hindus in Bangladesh in 2015. Though the, though the population is steadily dwindling, Hindus in Bangladesh in the late 2000s were almost evenly distributed in all regions of the country, with large concentrations in Gopalganj, Dinajpur, Sylhet, Sunamganj, Mymensingh, Khulna, Jeshore, Chittagong, and parts of Chittagong Hill Tracts. Since the rise of Islamist political formations in the country during 1990s, many Hindus have been threatened or attacked, and substantial numbers are leaving the country for India still. Despite their dwindling numbers, Hindu wield considerable influence because of their geographical concentration in certain regions of the country. They form a majority of the electorate in at least two parliamentary constituencies and account for more than 25% in the least another 30. For this reason, they are often the deciding factor in parliamentary elections where victory margins can be extremely narrow. It is also alleged that this is the prime reason for many Hindus being prevented from voting in elections either through intimidating voters or through exclusion in voters list revision. Do you find similarities what is happening in West Bengal for many decades? The same thing was is happening there. So that's why it is important to actually read this. Okay, we have our first guest. Uh, Hello, Mr. Loser Hindu. Yeah, you are on. Do you want to speak? You are muted. Mm, Okay, do me a private chat. Okay, you can speak. Go ahead. Hello, can you speak? Or you can do me a private chat if you have any issues. We'll try to fix it. Uh,
Is it audible
Rejoin
now?
again. Yes, you're audible now. Yes, you're audible. Go ahead. Go ahead. You can
What we
speak.
are
What
seeing
you?
is going to be history in a few days. Sorry, not in a few
Uh,
days, but in a few years.
okay. Wait. Your audio is little bit low. Audience, are you able to hear Loser Hindu? Let me just check. Now, can you speak again?
What I was saying is that what we are seeing nowadays is going. We are in West
No,
Bengal is going
your
to be
audio.
next to Bangladesh.
Your audio is really bad. Your audio is really bad. Audience, can you listen to him? Yeah. Rejoin again. Rejoin again. Okay. Rejoin again. We'll try to fix it. No, but this audio was tracking. So yeah, it was tracking. So join, rejoin again, and we will again take you. So by the time, let's read through this review. This is important to read the reviews of the book. Okay, he has joined again. Yes, loser Hindu. Please go ahead.
What we are seeing is really disheartening because we are seeing the next Bangladesh or Kashmir in front of us.
Yes. So why do you think? Why is this assessment from your end?
Because we are still divided. The
Uh,
MLA of Vaishnav Nagar, Malda, and the refugees from Dhulian went because it is against her political interest as she is from TMC Chandana Sarkar.
hmm. Okay. But is it an
A child of
anecdotal incident that you are saying, or is it something that you have observed for? See, you can have an anecdotal incidents, but that does not comprise that it is happening across the board.
it is happening across the board because the opinion makers go to any channel, they will first say that political Hinduism is bad, but yes, radical Hinduism is also bad, and we must fight the both things together. But had it been a case where a member of Bajrang Dal is beating the couples in a park, there they will not say that political Islam is bad and political Hindutva is bad. We must fight both of them. No, they are only RSS Hindutva is bad. We must fight them. Dot dot dot. But here there is a desperate attempt of monkey balancing. I can quote various channels who claim themselves to be liberals but don't have a guts to say that it is done by the so-called minority in West Bengal who are destined to be the majority if we don't take any actions.
Okay, understood. So, but yeah, I got your point of view.
Just
But correct, the
tomorrow, just read
solution needs
any
to
newspaper of
come from correct our end itself. Correct? The solution needs to be come from our end.
just tomorrow you will see that any newspaper of West Bengal, whether the
Mm-hmm.
Dukkhobaje Patrika or the Ekkaler Bortoman, all of them will see a
Mm-hmm.
same word that they will not name the community, but they will say people from some community with the people from other community.
Yep, absolutely correct.
But had it been a Hindu, till today we have known what is his name, caste, family, how big Hindutva activist he is, how many photos of Narendra Modi he has posted, how many times he had gone to RSS Shakha. Everything would have been at our palm till now. But
Mm-hmm.
since it is done by a so-called majority mob, sorry, so-called minority mob, that's why there is a silence that prevails across West Bengal.
Yes. So,
There is a
like,
desperate attempt to create conspiracy theories also because the district of Murshidabad lies very close to Jharkhand. Few very intellectual people of West Bengal is claiming that goons from outside West Bengal entered and probably it is a BJP conspiracy.
yes. So, can we talk about solutions? because the problems we, a lot of our audience knows. Can we talk about solutions? What can be done about it?
See, in West Bengal, solution always comes from outside. Okay, throughout the history of West Bengal, no, there is not a single time when the opposition came to power by itself, but it was made to come to power.
Okay,
First, in 1971, Siddhartha Shankar Roy of Congress came to power because Indira Gandhi wanted, and she did massive rigging. And there are evidences also that huge amount of rigging was done to bring him in power. Then comes 1977 left government. They were in power because at that time the government of Indira Gandhi has been toppled in the center, and that's why she was in power. Sorry, the Jyoti Basu government is power because Jyoti Basu's ally was in the central cabinet. Then from 77 to 2011 there was a setting between the central government and left front, so left front survived. In 2011 the central government supported Mamata Banerjee. Uh, Without the help of Pranab Mukherjee, today Mamata is nobody. And today she is in power. So we need the central president's, probably president's rule, and we need to rig the elections to make BJP win. That's the only solution.
yeah, I can understand your solution. Okay, but
There,
my
there
concern
is
is
no
little bit. Yeah, my concern is little bit more.
Bhupendra Da,
Okay.
there is no
Yes.
morally right solution.
No, no, no. I am talking not. I'm not talking morality. I'm talking on a different
And first of
spectrum
all,
altogether.
power comes from two places. One through the actually I have modified the code of Che Guevara. Power comes from two places. One through
Hmm.
your wallet and second through the barrel of the gun.
Hmm.
So
Correct.
Hindus have lost in both the fronts.
Yes, but my concern is little bit
See, if
more at the fundamental level. Fundamental level,
so
at the social level.
yes, yes, we have to regain the markets. Because in Calcutta there are only two types of market. Means if you go to big markets, then there are only two types of market. One, the Bado Bazar, Bhagri market. Bado Bazar is for the main for the grocery and clothing, and Bhagri for the medical things. They are dominated by Marwadis. And second is Mullik Bazar, Raja Bazar, Park Circus. They are mainly hardware and the car market, or second-hand car market and spare parts. They are dominated by Muslims or the hardware things, the tiles. So we need Bengali Hindus to come forward and capture the markets. Means here by capturing I means they have to be economic powerhouse and they also have to have physical strength.
Hmm. Hmm. No, I am. See, you are telling something which is actually well known for last 3 decades. My question is little bit different. My question is that
And
at the
how to do it?
fundamental
That I
level.
know.
Yeah, yeah. So my question is a little different. My question at the fundamental level, at the societal level, you said that we do not have any power. Okay. Have we introspected why we do not have that power? Because until we know where are the lacking in terms of where you need to fix things, how you going to fix things?
See,
Because
Bengali, one
central
thing is we
party,
must.
see, example, I'll give you an example. Let's assume that there is no favorable party in center. Are you still going to do the same thing and ask them to come and save you?
Do you have any alternative?
No, no,
Means
no, not
I
see.
think
Alternative is something else. I'm talking about at the fundamental level that the introspection which needs to be done by every one of us. I'm not talking about you. Every one of us as
see,
a
first
social
of all, we need
contributor.
more kids.
Mm-hmm.
Bhupendra Da, can
Go.
I ask you a
Hmm.
personal question?
Yeah, yes, please, go
You
ahead.
have how many brothers or sisters?
That personal details we should not discuss
No, no,
publicly.
I'm just saying that most probably you are also single child. I am also single child. So our parents will
Hmm.
not allow us to go in a writing. But where there
Hmm.
is a dozen of children, they will let one or two die for the sake of the greater cause.
No, no, I am not talking about all these things. I am talking about the fundamental level of introspection. We are reacting to incidents which are happening right now. Okay, and reaction is supposed to happen. This should happen, but the
So the
reaction
first
is a
thing,
solution.
uh, the first thing we should do is to stop introspecting and start extrospecting, because throughout the hundreds of years, Bengali Hindus have only done introspection. No, no, we have done something wrong. Maybe we as a zamindar have assaulted the Muslim peasants to take some steps. Maybe we have done something wrong. They are right. Just so now is the time for the way. Whatever we did is very right, and whatever we will do is going to be right only. Like in a
Yes,
Nietzschean way, we should work. That
understand your, yeah. I got your point. Now,
the best quote of
just hear
Bengali
me out.
history.
No, wait,
Yes,
just
yes.
hear me out. Yeah, hear me out. See, you had said we have introspected for a century itself. Take your point that we have done introspection, but we have not done action. If your
Yes, you are right.
introspection, if your introspection was right, then you should have taken action. Because your introspection was not right, that's why you did not take any action.
You are right. That's why I think all of the Bengalis' favorite quote is "Bhavo and Bhava practice karo." Think and only practice thinking without taking any action.
See, I have only one thing to tell to everyone who is listening to this. Okay. And okay, my audio should be okay now. I have increased my audio, and I will put other people as well. So we'll finish this point, and then we will add few other people who will be speaking. Understand, until we, as an individual, take ownership of whatever we do, okay, the society will not transform itself. Okay, the only problem I have with the society is that, and that has, it's called a messiah complex. Okay, we have been waiting for a messiah to come and save us. Okay, without taking ownership of our own decisions, of our own actions. Until we do this at the fundamental individual level, by me, by yourself, by everybody, okay, and see, gathering people requires leadership. Unfortunately, we do not have the leadership right now. So what you don't do nothing. Leadership will emerge from a people.
Jitendra, everything.
Hmm,
Yes, you are right about this thing. But the
hmm,
problem is that there is a fundamental flaw in the character of the Bengali Hindus. Is that they are always inclined to the man in power. Like I think in Baban, my Emperor Babur wrote about Bengalis that
hmm, hmm.
Bengalis are loyal to every changing sultan. Whoever will be in power, Bengalis will be loyal to them. It
But
is a
is it,
historic quote.
no, wait, is it not that for even for other ethnicities?
No, because they're not this much truth is not there. Like, see,
Okay.
when CPM was his power, everybody was CPM.
Hmm,
When
hmm,
Congress was his power, everybody was bloody Congress. When Gandhiji came, everybody was Gandhi. But in
hmm,
other
hmm,
states, you will look that, for example, in like I am
hmm,
saying it in detail only. For example, in
hmm,
UP, you will see that the Muslims and Yadavs will always vote for Sapa. And for
hmm,
example, the Brahmins and other communities, they are the swinging voter bank.
hmm, hmm.
Am I clear?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Go ahead.
Similarly, in South also, there will be few people who are voting to one party. Sorry, few faction of people they are voting to one party, and another faction of people to other party. And some people will swing, but in Bengal, the total voter base is swinging.
Okay, understood. Okay, now we'll not talk about politics because politics is talked about in. Now, tell me from your individual perspective what you are doing to make a positive impact on the society that you live in or to your community itself. Let's talk about individual accountability.
We have to stop running away.
No, no, no. I'm saying no, no. Forget about that. Forget about at the individual level. You as an individual,
Yes,
me as an
individual level.
individual.
If a rioter comes to my house, then I will have
Hmm,
to fight for my house,
mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
whether my life is
okay, okay, and
because
you are prepared to defend yourself, correct?
no, We will try because like
Hmm.
we will try our level best
Hmm. Hmm. Okay,
because the
thank
general
you.
notion is
Yeah, thank you, Loser Hindu. We have few more people who are waiting. So
definitely.
yeah, so
I want
now
to
we'll.
end just by saying that we have to learn the art of fighting. Full stop. Nothing means else
Yeah.
we are
So
good.
correct. So the constitution gives you a right to defend yourself. So go ahead and do it. So now we have Abhay and also Milton. So first of all, Abhay, to you. Go ahead. Unmute yourself and speak.
নমস্কার দাদা। আমি
Yeah,
এই
namaste.
এই কথা আমি বাংলাতেই বলবো, কারণ এটা বাঙালিদের বুঝতে হবে।
Hmm.
যে ঠিক আছে, ব্যক্তিগত বিষয় নিয়ে আমি বলবো, আমি কি করি, টাকা উপার্জন করে টাকা দান করি, এটাই
Hmm.
আমার এখন
Hmm.
যা
Hmm.
হচ্ছে তা হচ্ছে। এবং
Hmm.
জিমে গিয়ে বা যেইখানে যেইখানেও লোকেদের সাথে দেখা হয়, সেখানে
Hmm.
তাদের সাথে আমি আগেও এই বিষয় নিয়ে কথা বলেছিলাম, যে ছোট্ট ছোট্ট করে একটা চিন্তাধারার আহ, বীজই আরোপণ করি। ঠিক
Hmm.
আছে,
Hmm. Hmm.
এখন তো এটাই
Hmm.
চলছে।
Hmm.
আহ, কিন্তু আহ, আহ, একজন মাননীয় বলছিলেন বাঙালি সমাজ নিয়ে,
Hmm.
একজন মারওয়াড়ি হয়ে আমি বলবো যে হ্যাঁ,
Hmm.
একদমই বাঙালিদের বাজার দখল করতে হবে,
Hmm.
না হলে হবে না কাজ। একদম ঠিক কথা। কিন্তু এখন আমি যেই অনেক বাঙালিদের মনোভাব দেখছি, তারা মানে অবাঙালিকে শত্রু মেনে বাজারকে দখল করতে চায়। আমি যিনি এই বিষয়টা তুলেছিলেন ওনাকে বলছি না বিশেষ করে, কিন্তু সামান্যভাবে আমি দেখছি যে অবাঙালি হিন্দুদেরকে শত্রু মানা হচ্ছে। আমি বলবো যে সবার সাথে মিলিয়ে মিশিয়ে সহযোগিতাতে কাজ করলে বেশি ভালো হয়। হিন্দুদের একজোড়ো করতে গেলে একটা সম্পর্ক থাকতে হবে, একটা রিলেশনশিপ থাকতে হবে, ইকোনমিক রিলেশনশিপ। ব্যক্তিগতভাবে তুমি নাই পছন্দ করতে পারবো মারওয়াড়িদের, কারণ তারা ভেজিটেরিয়ান, বা মারওয়াড়িরা নন ভেজিটেরিয়ানদের পছন্দ করেন না। এইসব বিষয় নিয়ে মতভেদ থাকতেই পারে, কিন্তু মিলিয়ে মিশিয়ে কাজ করতেই হবে, আর কোনো উপায় নেই। বাঙালির কাছেও কোনো উপায় নেই, আর অবাঙালিদের কাছেও কোনো উপায় নেই। আর আরেকটা জিনিস, যে ধান্দাকে খারাপ ভাবাটা বন্ধ করতে হবে। আমি বাঙালিদের মধ্যে এই জিনিসটা দেখি, যে ওই ধান্দাবাজি শব্দটা রয়েছে না, ওই ধান্দাবাজিকে একটা নেগেটিভ ভাবে প্রয়োগ করা হয়, সেটাকে কিন্তু নেগেটিভলি নেগেটিভ চোখে দেখা বন্ধ করতে হবে। এটা একটা বড় বিষয়।
Yes. Okay. So now we have Milton. You can unmute yourself. You can speak.
Dada, is it a Bengali stream or English stream?
It is English, but you can speak Bengali, whatever you feel like. Doesn't really matter. I'll change the language
Okay,
later. Doesn't really matter.
okay. আচ্ছা, বাংলাই বলে ফেলি। তো বেসিক্যালি আমার একটা অর্থোডক্স অ্যাপ্রোচ আছে, যেটা আমি নিজে দেখেছি এবং আমাদের এখানে অলরেডি হয়েও গেছে।
Okay.
অ্যাপ্রোচটা হলো
Okay, wait. Before you give the details of your case study, okay. Uh, do remember that we do not profess any violence or any illegal activity. So like this platform, so make sure that whatever you are sharing case study, you are not sharing any personal details of any individual. Okay. And your case study does not profess any violence or illegal stuff which can harm communities. So go ahead.
No, I am only saying things that are like already said in the media of a
Hmm.
certain country. So not
Hmm.
anything out of the territory of law.
Hmm. Hmm.
And I think the people will understand the part. But আমি বাংলায় বলছি, কারণ বাংলা বা পশ্চিমবঙ্গের মানুষ যেহেতু শুনছে বা কিছুক্ষণ আগে কথা বলছেন, তাই
Hmm.
ব্যাপারটা হলো বাংলাদেশে আপনি যদি খেয়াল করেন, মেজরিটি কমিউনিটি যেটা আছে, হ্যাঁ, মুসলিম। তো হাসিনা যখন আসছিল, হ্যাঁ, তখন কিন্তু ওদের যে পলিটিক্যাল ইসলামের যারা পার্টি ছিল, হ্যাঁ, ওরা কিন্তু অনেক সাফার করেছিল, রাইট? এমন না যে হাসিনা একদমই ছেড়ে দিছিল ওদেরকে। অনেক ইমপ্রিজনমেন্ট হয়েছে এবং ওদের অনেক প্রোটেস্টেন্ট অনেক লাইক হ্যাঁ সাপ্রেস করা হয়েছে। এটা কোনো লাইক লুকানোর কিছু না, ইন্ডিয়া সবাইও জানে এবং আমরাও জানি যে উনি এটা পলিটিক্যালি করেছিলেন। কিন্তু তারপরেও আপনি চিন্তা করেন, ওরা একদম ভেঙ্গে যায় নাই বা একদম মানে গুড়িয়ে পড়ে নাই। আহ, এটা ওরা কি করেছে, ওরা হচ্ছে এই সমাজেই থেকে যেই পরিস্থিতি ছিল ওই পরিস্থিতিতে কিভাবে টিকে থাকা যায় ওটা চিন্তা করে ওরা টিকে থেকেছিল এবং টিকে থেকে উইথিন দ্য সিস্টেমের ভিতর ঢুকে, সিস্টেমের ভিতর উঠে ওই সিস্টেমটাকেই ওরা ওদের করে নিয়েছে এবং সুযোগ মতো ওই সিস্টেমটাকে বদলিয়ে দিতে এখন চেষ্টা করছে, আহ, যেটা হচ্ছে। তো আমি যেমন দেখছি এখন পশ্চিমবঙ্গের যেহেতু মেজরিটি কমিউনিটি যেটা আছে হিন্দু, ওরা এখন ওই ওই ধরনের অবস্থা বা ওই ধরনের সিচুয়েশনের মধ্যে দিয়ে যাচ্ছে। তো কেননা তোমরা এই মানে এই সিচুয়েশনটাকে, এই সিচুয়েশনে বাঁচার জন্য যা করার দরকার তা করো, কিন্তু যে যে তোমার আসল বলে না যে থ্রেট পয়েন্ট, হ্যাঁ, ওটাকে চিনে রেখে ওটাকে বদলানোর জন্য সিস্টেমের ভিতর ঢুকে সিস্টেমকে বদলিয়ে ফেলো। আহ, কিন্তু আমি দেখি যে যারা এই ধরনের সিস্টেমে ঢুকে তারা উল্টো আরো ব্রেন ওয়াশড হয়ে যায় এবং ওই সিস্টেমটাকে বাড়াতে থাকে। কোভার্ডলি কিছু করে করা হয় নাই বা মানে মানে করে নাই কেন, এটা আমি মানে ঠিক বুঝছি না। তো আমি মানে এটাই আমার পার্সোনাল অবজারভেশন এবং যেটা হয়েছে অলরেডি, যেটা লাইক এটা একটা কেস স্টাডি। তো আমি বলবো ওইরকম ভাবেও করা যায়। আপনারা যদি বলেন যে লাইক ভায়োলেন্স করবেন আর এ করবেন ও করবেন, আহ ইভেন আপনারা যে বাজার দখলের কথা বলছেন, ওই বাজার দখলের জন্য আপনাকে সিস্টেমের ভিতর ঢুকতে হবে। কারণ বাজার দখল যদি এতই সোজা হতো সিস্টেমকে কাটিয়ে বা কারেন্ট সিস্টেম যেটা আছে, তাহলে অনেকেই বাজার দখল করতে পারতো। কারণ এমন না যে পশ্চিমবঙ্গের বাজার একদমই ফেলনার বাজার। তো আমি মানে লাইক এটা আমার মনে হলো, আহ, এটা আর কি।
Yes, very important point which Milton has raised. Okay, so now there are two aspects to it which we can actually discuss. One is how do we understand the system, okay, and second is how do we use the system to do something that we want to do. Okay. Now both of them are interrelated. First we need to understand the system, and then we need to use the system to our advantage, which is done by most communities to further their own cause. Okay. Now that requires certain amount of leadership, good quality leadership, which unfortunately, for various reasons, the community does not have right now. Without you are having good quality leadership, you will not be able to do this. So that is something which people ignore, that you need leadership. Okay. 80% of the people will not become leaders. The 20% or 10% will become leaders. And those leaders will actually make sure that the remaining people follow their advice and do what is required. Because at the individual level, everybody will have their own ways to doing things. But end of the day, if you want a concentrated action, concentrated initiative, which needs to be followed by a lot of people to make it a viable as a collective action, you would need good quality leadership, which unfortunately we do not have. If we can build that leadership, then there is a chance that you will be able to actually create your own system or become part of a system to actually gain something that you deserve. Yes,
আহ,
Milton.
এই
Yeah, Abhay, go ahead.
উম, আহ, এই সিস্টেমকে দখল করা, কিন্তু বাংলাদেশে যদিও বলতে পারেন যে হাসিনা শেখের সরকারের সময় এই মানে অনেক বিরোধীদেরকে অত্যাচারিত করা হয়েছে, আর তারপরে ধীরে ধীরে ওরা সিস্টেম ক্যাপচার করে ফেলেছেন, আর তারপরে নিজের সিস্টেম করে দিয়েছেন সেটা। কিন্তু ব্যাপারটা হচ্ছে যে বাংলাদেশও কখনো পুরোপুরি আহ, মানে তাদের যে সংখ্যাগুরু সম্প্রদায়, তাদের বিরুদ্ধে সেই স্টেটের গঠন হয়নি। তারা কিছু না কিছু সংখ্যাগুরু সম্প্রদায়ের প্রতি একটা নরম আচরণ নিয়ে চলেছে। আমি বলবো যেখানে সমাজ সিস্টেমটা পাল্টাতে পারিনি সেটা হচ্ছে সেন্ট্রাল এশিয়াতে। ওরা পুরো ডি ইসলামাইজ করে ফেলেছে সেন্ট্রাল এশিয়াতে। ওই স্ট্যালিন এসে পুরো ডি ইসলামাইজ করে দিল সব সেন্ট্রাল এশিয়ান কান্ট্রিজদেরকে, তাজিকিস্তান আর উজবেকিস্তান। ওখানে আপনি ওইসব ইসলামীকরণ একদম পাবেন না। তাই ভারতীয় রাজ্যের যখন কথা বলা হয়, ভারতীয় রাজ্যের গঠনই এরকম হয়েছে যেখানে যিনি আহ, বিভিন্ন নীতি তৈরি করেছেন, তিনি ভাবতেন যে আমরা, কারণ হিন্দু সংখ্যাগুরু, তাই আমাদেরকে অপোলোজেটিক হতে হবে এবং সংখ্যালঘুদেরকে তোষণ করে তাদের যেন কোনো আহ, আহ, তাদের যেন কোনো ডিসস্যাটিসফ্যাকশন না হয়, এটা আমাদের বেশি করে খেয়াল করতে হবে। তাই জন্য আমাদের যেরকম সিলেবাস, পুরো সিস্টেমটা যেইভাবে সাজানো হয়েছে, সেখানে একজন হিন্দুত্ববাদী ঢুকলেই তাকে বের করে দেওয়া হবে, বা তুমি তার পাঠ্যসূচি ফলো করলেই তোমার মানসিক পরিবর্তন হয়ে যাবে। এই একটা সমস্যা রয়েছে। কিন্তু তার প্রতিকার করার জন্য আমাদের কি দরকার, যে আমরা বেশি ইন্টেলেকচুয়াল ম্যাটেরিয়াল প্রডিউস করি। সেখানে আমাদেরকে মাইন্ড স্পেস ব্যাটেলে ঢুকতে হবে, যে না, এদের চিন্তাধারা খুবই বেকার, তাই সিস্টেমে চিন্তাধারার পরিবর্তন ঘটিয়ে ঢুকতে হবে। তো সেটা অনেক লম্বা, দীর্ঘকালিক কাজ। এটা একদম অল্প সময়েও করা যাবে না, বিশেষত বাংলায়, কারণ বাংলায় অত্যন্ত বেশি বামপন্থা রয়েছে। অন্যান্য দেশেও রয়েছে, কিন্তু বাংলায় অত্যন্ত বেশি।
Okay,
হ্যাঁ,
yeah, Milton, go ahead and we will end this discussion. We'll read a few pages and then we'll come back again. Go ahead.
হুম, হ্যাঁ, তো অভয়দা যেটা বলছিলেন যে ওইখানে যেমন বাংলাদেশেও ওই সাইডকে একটু ধরেন ছাড় দেওয়া হয়েছিল, বিষয়টা ওরকমও না। আমি বলি পশ্চিমবঙ্গে যেমন বিজেপি বলে বা বিজেপির কার্যকর্তাদের মারা হয়েছিল টিএমসি দ্বারা, ঠিক ওইভাবেই পলিটিক্যালি যারা ধর্মীয় পার্টি বানানোর চেষ্টা করছিল ওদেরকে স্ট্রং হ্যান্ডের উপরে, যে স্ট্রং হ্যান্ড আছে ওটা দিয়ে ডিটেক্ট করা হয়েছে। এটা কিন্তু জানা ফ্যাক্ট। আর এটা আপনি ওদের সাইডের বক্তব্য আর ন্যারেটিভ গুলো না পড়লে আপনি জীবনেও কল্পনা করবেন না যে ওদের সাথে এরকম করা হয়েছে। ভারতীয় মিডিয়াতে যে বাংলাদেশকে আওয়ামী লীগ যেভাবে চালিয়েছে ওটা দেখলে একদম সম্পূর্ণই মনে হবে যে ছাড় দিয়েছিল, ওইরকমও না। তো একটা প্যারালাল আছে। হ্যাঁ, তবে পশ্চিমবঙ্গে একটা ফ্যাক্টর ভিন্ন, সেটা হলো যে যে পার্টিটার সাথে একটা সংখ্যালঘু যে সম্প্রদায় আছে, ওই দুজনই কিন্তু মারমুখী টাইপের, যেটা বাংলাদেশে ছিল না। কারণ বাংলাদেশে যে সংখ্যালঘু সম্প্রদায় সেটা মারমুখী নয় একদমই, উল্টা আরো ইনঅ্যাক্টিভ। হ্যাঁ, যেটা একদম পারফেক্ট ভোট ব্যাংক বলতে পারেন, যে মানে আপনাকে দিবে কিন্তু আবার আপনাকে কিছু দিতেও হবে না, মানে অটোমেটিক ভোট বলতে পারেন। তো ওটা আছে। বাট আমার মেইন পয়েন্টটা ছিল যে মানে বাংলাদেশে তো ধরেন একটা দেশ, তো ওরা বাইরে থেকে অনেকে পালিয়েও অনেক ভাবে এভাবে ওভাবে ম্যানেজ করেও টিকিয়ে রেখেছে। আপনি দেখেন বাংলাদেশে হঠাৎ করে মানচিত্র পরিবর্তন বা যে জাতীয় সঙ্গীত পরিবর্তনের ডাক আনছে, ওটা তো একটা পপুলেশন আনছে না। ওই পপুলেশনটা যে এনেছে ওই পপুলেশনটা তো বেঁচে থাকতে হবে না ওদের ডাকটা আনার জন্য। তো ওরা এতদিন বেঁচে ছিল কেন? অবশ্যই বেঁচে ছিল কারণ ওরা লুকিয়ে ছিল, কিন্তু লুকিয়েও তো ওরা নেটওয়ার্কটা অনেক বড় করেছে না? তো এখন ধরেন পশ্চিমবঙ্গে দেখতেছেন যে পলিটিক্যাল ভায়োলেন্স বেশি, কিন্তু আপনাকে তো আর বাইরের থেকে মানে বাইরের দেশ থেকে কোনো সাপোর্ট আনতে হচ্ছে না। আপনাদের নিজের দেশের ভিতরই একটা অনেক বড় সংগঠন আর পার্টি আছে, ওখান থেকে আপনারা যদি নেটওয়ার্কের জাল বিছিয়ে দেন, দেখতেছেন যেহেতু পলিটিক্যালি হচ্ছে না, যেমন মহারাষ্ট্র বা অন্যান্য প্রদেশে যেমন পলিটিক্যালি হয়, এখানে যেহেতু হচ্ছে না সেহেতু আপনি অন্য পথ অবলম্বন করেন। আমি বলছি না ওখানে আপনাকে যে ভায়োলেন্স করতে হবে না, অনেকভাবে ওয়ারফেয়ার অনেকভাবে হয়, আপনি ওভাবে করেন যেহেতু এভাবে অলরেডি হয়ে একটি দেশে পট পরিবর্তন হয়েছে। পশ্চিমবঙ্গের পট পরিবর্তন হওয়া কোনো ব্যাপার না, কারণ যে টেকনিক এখানে ইউজ হয়েছে সেই টেকনিকটা হিন্দুদের উপর আরো বেশি ইউজ করা যাবে। কারণ হিন্দুরা খুব বেশি ইনঅ্যাক্টিভ, মানে ওগুলোকে আটকানোর মতো ইয়া না। তো ওখানে যায় যে যেমন যে টিএমসির যে 30% হিন্দু ভোটে বেস আছে, ওরাও যদি আপনারা ওই ধরনের নেটওয়ার্কের জাল বিছিয়ে কোভার্টলি করেন, ওরাও আটকাতে পারবে না। তো আমি মানে ওই দিক দিয়ে আমি জানি না হচ্ছে কিনা, কিন্তু ওইভাবে করা যাবে। যেহেতু ধরেন নর্মালি যেমন যদি বলে, অনেকে বলছে যে আপনি হিন্দু, আপনার পরিচয় জাগ্রত করুন বা সংঘবদ্ধ হন। দেখুন, এই জিনিসটা আমাদেরকেও বলা হয়, বাংলাদেশের সবাইকে, সব হিন্দুকে বলা হয়েছে সংঘবদ্ধ হন, এই হন ও হন। স্টেট যখন আপনার উপর চড়ে বসবে তখন আপনি সংঘবদ্ধ হয়েও ওটা ভেঙে যেতে পারে, যেটা অলরেডি এখন হয়েছে। আপনারা দেখেছিলেন আমরা কিভাবে সংঘবদ্ধ হয়েছি, 50,000 1 লাখের বীর কোনো ব্যাপারই ছিল না। এখন সে 50,000 1 লাখের বীরের একজনও কোথাও নাই, কে কোন দিকে গেছে কেউ জানে না। তো ধরেন আপনি লিডার করলেন, লিডার করার পরেও একটা জনশক্তি অর্জন করলেন, ওটার উপর যদি স্টেটে আসলেই হাবি হয়, এরপরে সেই জনশক্তিটা অবভিয়াসলি এফেক্ট হয়ে কমে যাবে। হ্যাঁ, আর অতটা সময় আমি ঠিক জানি না, আমি অত এক্সপার্টও না বেঙ্গল বা ন্যাশনাল সিকিউরিটির উপর, কিন্তু যে লিডারশিপ দিয়ে যে পটভূমি পরিবর্তন করা, অতটা সময় কি বাংলার আছে ওটা আমি জানি না। যদি না থাকে তাহলে অবশ্যই অন্যান্য মিনস ইউজ করা উচিত, কারণ দিন শেষে বাংলা যদি যায় তাহলে ভারতবর্ষের এত বড় ক্ষতি হবে, যেটা হয়তো মানে কাশ্মীর গেলেও মানে অত বড় ক্ষতি হতো না। তো ইটস লাইক আ লিটমাস টেস্ট কি ভারতবর্ষ কিরকম থাকবে আর কিরকম ধরনের থাকবে না। আর ওই ক্ষেত্রে আমার মতে এভরিথিং ইজ ফেয়ার ইন লাভ এন্ড ওয়ার, আই গেস।
Okay, now we have Slavin joined us. Slavin, would you like to say something? Please go ahead. Slavin, can you hear us? Okay. Okay. Can you please speak because we are not able to hear you. Check your mic.
Hello, hello.
Yes. Yes. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, so really sad to see what is happening over there. And I hope all of you guys are, you know, safe. Just wanted to share a story of what happened in Maharashtra. There is a new sort of area called Mukra in Mumbai, which is, majority other community. I will say other community. But the story is interesting. Why that full no such thing existed called Mumbai before 1990s. You realize what timeline I'm talking about. Uh, the Bombay Stock Exchange blast and all that, and what followed, whatever. So it was in reaction to that that all bad things happened in the area and Mumbai, but the political leadership at that time provided by Saheb Thackeray, we are all, indebted to,
Mm-hmm.
that he let things play out in a way that from Mumbai, all of them had to leave and go to Mumra. And
Mm-hmm.
because of, there is strength in numbers and everyone wanted to stay together, which is good. All communities should be staying together and nicely should be able to stay.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe, even I hope the leadership in Bengal also can do something like that, but it is very hard to expect it from the leadership at this point. But suffice to say, even Saheb Thackeray was not in power at that time. In power was Sharad Pawar,
Mm-hmm.
but still, Saheb Thackeray led that movement or whatever you want to call it, and he was not, against every one of the other communities. There were people in Mumbai who went to him and told, see, we don't have anything to do with this. We don't want to participate in all what is going on. We are
Mm-hmm.
just normal people. So in Bandra, you must have heard very famous area called Bandra, where all the Khans and your Salman Shah Rukh live. There is still Shiv Sena Shakha is a unit. So there is Shiv Sena
Mm-hmm.
unit and all members over there are from the other community. They are
Mm-hmm.
people who were given protection by Saheb Thackeray because they said we are not participating in all this problem thing. We are just neutral. We just want to live peacefully, and no one touch us.
Okay, hold on. Slavin, I can hear you. Audience, can you hear Slavin? Sanatan Sahud is saying people can't hear you.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
No, 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 it's fine. I can hear you because there was some audio issue from your end, but I adjusted the mic settings.
Oh,
So, okay. The
that
audience,
is
do
all
let
I
me know.
wanted to share. Just wanted to tell
Mm-hmm.
you guys this story. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, my voice is low. Okay, I can try to increase my voice. Just a second. Maybe.
Yeah, yeah. No, it is fine. It is fine.
Hello, hello.
Uh,
Is it
yeah,
better now?
yeah, better, much better, better.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
Mm.
Just what you want me to tell that again, what you
Yeah,
said?
yeah, repeat. Yeah, you need to repeat it because the audio was very low.
Oh,
You need
sorry.
to
Okay.
repeat it. Yeah.
So I'll tell you a story of an area called, guys. I first of all, I hope everyone is safe over there and hope you guys keep safe. So there is a story of area called Mumbra. It is outside Mumbai city limits. It is near where I live. That area is wholly like 99% of the other community. It is outside the limits of city of Mumbai. Now, how that area did not exist before, 1990s. So at that time, you know what happened during the Bombay Stock Exchange bomb blast and the things that followed after that. So before all this time, Mumbai did not exist. It now exists because after the events of early 1990s, 91 to 92, 93, all of the other community, they felt safe to move to Mumbai. So that was because Saheb Thackeray basically led all that movement or whatever you want to call it and provided
Mm-hmm.
leadership. And so, even in that time also, Saheb was not in government. He
Mm-hmm.
was in government was Sharad Pawar and Congress and all that. But still, Saheb Thackeray from outside also he could orchestrate everything so that all of them had to leave Mumbai and settle in the Mumbai area. It's also a nice area, but it is all for them now. No one from our community will go there. I mean, but what I'm trying to hint at that you have to show
Mm-hmm.
that sort of resolve by yourself also, that when you have to take strict action. And he was not against all of the people from other community because there is a area called Bandra where all your big famous Khans like Shah Rukh and Salman,
Mm-hmm.
all of them live. So over there, people from the other community, they went to Bayasap. They told him, "See, we don't want to participate in all these problems and all that. We just want to be left alone and live peacefully." They told him. He said, "No one will touch you. Don't worry." And the Shiv Sena Shakha or the unit of that Bandra area of that uh, like local area is run by the other community members. They are all
Hmm.
Shiv Sainiks of that area.
Hmm.
So he was not like against, you know, ultra, extremist or anything that, oh, you have
Hmm. Hmm.
to go against everyone.
Hmm.
Those who wanted to live peacefully and with brotherhood, uh, they still continue to live there. But who had problems, they were all taken care of by people. So I hope, the opposition parties in Bengal can take some, hints from this and, do what is needful. And, because from time to time you have to show strength to tell people that, okay, just because we are being nice doesn't mean you can push us around and do anything you want. If everyone lives in discipline, we can all live happily. That is all.
Yeah, thank you. I think you give a very like unknown context because a lot of people who are not from Maharashtra, Mumbai, will not know
Oh,
all these things.
so it is the time period I'm talking about is 1991 when the Bombay blasts took place, and after that, RIOTS happened
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
between
Hmm.
communities. So that as of that time, after that, Bhai Thackeray, you know, uh, provided a movement where all all support was provided to everyone from our community to ensure that we were not attacked and all. And then all of them had to leave Mumbai and settle in Mumbai. That is story of how Mumbai suburb became like 98, 99% of the other community.
Got it. Got it. Thank you. Now we will go back to a little bit of
Yeah.
reading. Okay. So because a
Thank you.
lot
Bye
of
bye.
people, yeah. Okay, take care. Take care. Now we'll go back to our reading session. Okay. We will again open up the session at a later stage, okay, for people to share their opinions. Now let me. Okay. So let's go ahead and read this review because a lot of people have not. The review has a lot of data which the book shows. So if you people don't read the book, at least read the review. So for this reason, they are often the deciding factor in parliamentary elections where victory margins can be extremely narrow. It is also alleged that this is a prime reason for many Hindus being prevented from voting in elections, either through intimidating voters or through exclusion in voter list revisions. In Being Hindu in Bangladesh, journalist Deep Haldar and academic Abhishek Bishwas explore the ground realities behind statistics. Important. Stats don't tell you everything. They tell you a part of the story, but you have to be on ground. So again, same way. When I read books, okay, so it doesn't mean that I will become an expert by just reading 500 books because human experience is also about connecting to the ground realities by talking to people, by experiencing it. Okay. So same way, correct. If you watch a video of a travel blogger traveling to a mountain and explain how the mountain feels like, you can never experience mountain just by watching a video of a blogger who is detailing and giving views of the mountains. You have to travel to the mountains, to the desert, to the jungle, to actually feel what it means to be in that place. Same way, people who, and I try my best to actually like talk to people at ground level to understand their perspective, and even whenever I get a chance to travel and go and experience that place or that incident which happens, it gives me a perspective which is a holistic in nature, where you can actually form a 360-degree opinion about what really happened. So a lot of people would be saying, okay, it's not feasible. It's not feasible. Okay, that you can do. But I would encourage people that reading books, reading papers is important, where you enlighten yourself. You know a lot of data details which are required, but do also try to make sure to be on ground and understand the situation from your end, wherever there is feasibility of it. So just reading books will not be good enough to actually understand and form an objective opinion. So try to have a try to not to have only a subjective opinion about what you think, but gather enough data and form an objective opinion about it. So that is something which is important, which I thought it needs to be told to people that reading books and papers is not the only way where you can understand something in an objective manner. You have to do multiple things to form an objective opinion about it, a holistic opinion about it. Behind statistics. Though extensive research in Bangladesh and using archival material and records, they attempt to sift out the truth behind the numbers. Their aim is to find out the lived experience of those who stayed in the country and ask important questions about nature of identity, its connection with religion, and ultimately the very idea of home. This is actually one of the best reviews I have actually read. So now what we're going to do is we are going to let me do one more thing. Let's read a chapter of it, which is important chapter that we need to read. We'll leave the preface, okay, because this chapter, which needs to be read in this current context and the current scenario, the first chapter, which is about the Noakhali riots which took place. So Noakhali is a very landmark event which took place, and that's something which needs to be understood. Okay, but why we can't see the pages? Let me see if I can get the pages right. 1946. Okay, but they have not given the page number, so unfortunately we have to sift through the preface itself. And this is the only reader we have in this device. This is not my usual device, so there would be some issues, but we have to go through it. Let's see. Yeah, now we have fissures. So number one, fissures. Chapter 1, Noakhali, 1946 and 2021. A lot of people know about Noakhali, but what happened in 2021 in Bangladesh, a lot of people will not know about it. So let's read through this. Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi's goat went missing from this village. The apostle of peace had come to appeal for peace. Instead, they took away the goat he loved to feed with his own hands, and the whole village had a feast. We don't know who those people were, nor can we find out if this story is true. This was in 1946, and far more serious matters were at the hand than finding out the truth about a lost goat. It was a funny story to hear as we stand inside Gandhi Ashram in uh, Sonaimuri, a sub-district of Noakhali district in Bangladesh. 76 years after Gandhi tried to stop villages from killing fellow villagers here, and 1 year after the communal fire singed Noakhali and other parts of Bangladesh during Durga Puja. It is drizzling outside, and we have come to this sleepy village after a 5 hour drive from Dhaka. A white statue of Gandhi stands outside a building looking over green fields, shallow ponds, quaking ducks, and curious villagers. Inside the red brick building that has been turned into a memorial museum for Gandhi and his time in Noakhali, with photographs, used utensils, and a replica of his bed, and the famous spinning wheel. We ask Raha Nobu Kumar, director of Gandhi Ashram Trust, that runs this place, the truth about the goat. It was one of the men who works with Raha in the ashram who had told us the story. Raha smiled, and perhaps in keeping with his exalted status at the ashram, neither confirms nor denies the story and invites us for lunch. Over steaming khichdi, fried brinjal, and egg curry, he tells us how Noah Ali had shaken Gandhi. According to the record, Gandhi had traveled to the riot-hit villages and pleaded with Muslims to be part of peace committees instead of rioting gangs. To the Muslim villagers of Fatehpur, he said that it was the easiest thing to harass the Hindus as Muslims were in the majority. He had asked them to show him if the Quran had ever suggested such a thing. No one listened to him, and Noah Khali descended into darkness. On 17th February 1947, a local religious leader, Maulvi Khalilur Rahman, told Gandhi that religious conversion was the only way to save the Hindus, and those who didn't change their gods would fall to the sword, and they did. And yet again, more than 7 decades later, in 2021, it was the goddess that fell to the sword in the Noakhali. Broken goddess Durga idols lay on streets outside pandals as mobs went on rampage against Hindus. The youth in this district may not know much about what happened in 1946 that made Gandhi come here, but for the older population, October 2021 brought back old horrors. A copy of Quran was found at the feet of Lord Hanuman's statue at Nanua Digir Par Puja Pandal in neighboring Komila district on 13th October 2021. No Hindu had done it. Superintendent of Police Komila Farooq Ahmed told news media later. The man who did this was a local resident, 35-year-old Iqbal Hussain. But it lit fires across Bangladesh through social media platforms. Muslim mobs took to streets, attacking Hindu temples, breaking idols, breaking into Hindu homes, and setting their property on fire. Lives were lost, houses and temples burnt, indignities rubbed in the face of the Hindu minority population. The news traveled beyond borders. Indian news sites, the Quaint, said the following its report published on 19th October 2021. Although the fire of religious hatred and persecution was lit by three-partisan players, especially the Muslim League in their demand for a separate country, the ongoing incidents prove that religious hatred still burns red in Bangladesh, making the life of a Bengali Hindu minority miserable. The Daily Star, the largest circulating daily news English newspaper in Bangladesh, reported that 117 Hindu temples or puja pandals and 301 shops, homes were also damaged after the Komila incident. One particularly disturbing video that was shared widely on social media showed a ransacked pandal in Noakhali, broken chairs, half-burnt tires. A priest was seen performing puja seated on the road in front of the pandal with whatever was left of their idol of goddess Durga. Devotees were sitting around him, hands folded, tears dried. Bangladesh Foreign Minister A.K. Abdul Momen told the press that 6 people were killed in the violence, two from Noakhali itself, but news of women violated were false. Okay. As we finish our lunch, Raha says, I am old enough to remember what happened in Noakhali in 1946, how it remained a deep scar in Gandhi's heart long after things went back to normal. Those memories came flooding back. Our lunch with Raha at the Gandhi ashram is over. A bunch of schoolgirls in burqa entered one of the rooms in the museum building and peer closely at picture of Gandhi with Jinnah. From a little distance, we see them looking at the picture where Gandhi is watching Jinnah. What did Gandhi see when he saw Jinnah? What did he hear when Muhammad Ali Jinnah, then leader of the All India Muslim League, announced that 16th August 1946 would be Direct Action Day and warned the Congress, we do not want war. If you want war, we accept your offer unhesitantly. We will either have a divided India or a destroyed India. That was the proclamation from Jinnah in 1946, 16th August. Could Gandhi foresee that since the moment Jinnah wanted Pakistan, Calcutta, now Kolkata, would have to pay the price? In August 1946, as bodies lined the streets of Calcutta and shrieks of violated women shattered the silence of the night, an unlikely figure emerged as the savior of Hindus, the owner of a local meat shop, a butcher who worshipped the goddess Kali, picked up his cleaver and took the fight to the marauding gangs who interpreted Jinnah's call for direct action as annihilation of Hindus. The butcher, Gopal Patha, would become a footnote of history, will be referred to as communal bigot by later day historians. In 1947, as communal tensions still ran high, Gandhi would come down to Kolkata and appeal to Patha to lay down arms. Patha had no patience for Gandhi. Gandhi's if someone slaps you on one side of your face, turn other one to him. A sermon. He had a retort ready. I will not lay down even a nail if it has been used to defend Hindu honor. Raha's team remember the man who told us the story of Gandhi's stolen goat in Noakhali says, for us in Noakhali, last year's Durga Puja violence felt like Jinnah coming back to life, and there was no Gopal Patha around. The great Calcutta killings had halted Jinnah's plans, but the fire of communalism erupted again in Noakhali on 10th October 1946. It was the day of Kojagori Kojagori Lokhi Pujo. In Bengali, Kojagori means Ke Jagore or who is awake. Lokhi, more popularly known as Lakshmi, is the goddess of wealth and well-being. On that day, her worshippers in Noakhali lost their wealth, well-being, and much more. Up until that year, Noakhali, despite being the youngest district in the Gangetic Delta, was prosperous, a district with canals, trees, rather typical of the eastern Bengal countryside. Noakhali was one of the most postcard perfect and agriculturally fertile districts, but by the year end, Noakhali became a wasteland. What happened in Calcutta in August 1946 had a direct effect on Hindus in Noakhali 2 months later. By then, Gandhi had a sense of the shape of things to come and had said, we are not yet in the midst of a civil war, but we are nearing it. At present, we are playing at it. Remembering the horrific incidents, Raha says, thankfully, 2021 Durga Puja violence, however horrific, was not a civil war like 1946 nor genocide. She adds, if Muslims came to kill and maim Hindus, other Muslims saved us. Aminul Haq Munna was one of those other Muslims who saved the day for Hindus in Noakhali. As joint convener, Noakhali District Awami Jubo League, the youth wing of Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina's political party, Munna was ready for trouble as soon as news of the Comilla incident spread. Reports had already started coming in of communal flare-ups in other parts of Bangladesh. We faced We feared tension as the Imam of neighborhood masjid had heard some locals talk about the Kamila incident with anger. Munna tells us, we did not know till then that a Muslim miscreant had put the Quran at the feet of the Hindu god. The district board chairman of our party, Awami League, had warned everyone that no mischief should be allowed. We were told to keep vigil. We did, but that was not enough. We have come to Narottampur village in uh, Chhaumuni municipality area, Begumganj sub-district, an hour's drive from Gandhi Ashram. It is late evening now. Inside a narrow lane next to Pandal that is being readied for 2022 Durga Puja celebration, which is still a month away, Mukta Das stays in one-storied house of gloom. We do not have the heart to look her in the eye or ask her to recollect what happened here a year ago. News headlines had said that she had lost her brother Jaton Shaha to communal violence. News of outsiders coming to meet her as has spread, and some of her neighbors have streamed into the tiny living room where her bedridden father-in-law is resting on a divan. Among those present in the room is Munna, who now encourages her to speak to us. India থেকে এসেছেন. They have come from India. The next 30 minutes pass, pass in a daze. My brother Jatin had came home for Pujo. The pandal is right outside the house. You must have seen it, she begins. We nod that we have. What Mukta Das tells us next, while fighting back her tears, makes it difficult for us to keep a clear head and record her testimonial, but we try. The Kamila incident had already happened, and the local administration told us to do the visurgence of all the idols in all the pandals in the locality as soon as possible on Dashami. We did so by 10 a.m. We thought now that the puja was over and the goddess had been immersed in water, no harm would come. How wrong we were. At first, it was not more than 200 men. We did not think that they had gathered here for trouble, but they came near Muchipara, which is close by, and started throwing stones at our houses. That was the beginning. They threw stones, abused us verbally, and left. We had closed our doors and windows. When they came back, 200 had swelled to more than 2,000. Jatun was gone to the Iswan temple, which is in the next lane. He came face to face with these men. They attacked him with rods. He came limping back, his foot badly hurt. We begged him to stay inside the house, but my brother was not someone to hide from trouble. He went out again. Mukta takes a pause. Tears have started flowing down her cheeks. Eyes of the men in the room are downcast. Outside, the day has given way to darkness. This time, the attackers didn't spare him, she says. They hit him on the head and everywhere else. They left him battered outside the house. We called for an ambulance. There weren't any. We took him to nearby hospital. He was then shifted to Begamganj Upazila Health Complex. Doctors did what they could do. They saw no change in his condition. He was then shifted to Noakhali General Hospital. He died there. Researching the partition history, documenting oral histories of women and men who survived those bloody days and months have made us somewhat callous, insensitive even, about death. We tally the toll, reduce the dead to numbers as we put pen to paper. But as Mukta relives a day from her life a year ago, our breaths get labored. We look around the room, the men standing around us, Muslim and Hindu, their eyes downcast, their frail father-in-law on the divan, the dim light, the color faded on the walls. We wait for Mukta to begin again. What do you do when 2,000 men come to your locality to attack you? She says. It was not just Jatan who faced them. The boys from the locality tried to stop them with sticks and stones, but they were too many. They tried to break doors and windows of our houses. If they had managed to do that, God knows what would have happened to us. You saw the Durga pandal right outside our house. Well, the custom is that we keep this Durga idol for a year inside the pandal. We do not immerse it in water on Dashami. Last year, when they came to attack us, they also brought gunpowder with them. The one who got up and desecrated the idol of goddess Durga with gunpowder and then set her on fire. It was just a boy. He was just a boy. Were the men who came to attack them from this locality? Mukta looks at Aminul Haq Munna. No, he tells us, not all of them. I saw them from close quarters. When they were throwing stones near Mujipada, there were 10 or 12 policemen trying to control the situation. One of the policemen asked me to help them in controlling these people. He said, since I am a local leader, they might see me and desist from throwing stones. But I didn't know them, neither did they know me. I got I got either local Awami League members with me. We took three bikes, and the officer in charge of the local police station got on the back seat of my bike. The crowd had split, and some of them had reached the Radha Madhav Mandir. The police officer behind me on the bike feared the temple might be the next target of the mob. The crowd was swelling rapidly. To stop the crowd from getting inside the Radha Madhav Mandir premises, where there were a lot of devotees, we ordered a driver to park his bus in front of temple to protect it. We parked our bikes in front of the bus and stood there. The mob couldn't enter the temple and started going towards the ISKCON temple. More policemen had arrived by then, and we were now 30, but the mob was 2,000 or maybe more, and they were splitting into groups, coming in from all sides, pouring into lanes and by lanes. We knew we wouldn't be able to stop them anymore. Did the administration fail? I am a member of the party that is in government in this country. I will admit that the administration should have employed more policemen here after our distress calls. Too few policemen and too big a mob. We could not have saved Noakhali. Also, I had repeatedly requested the police officers to fire in the air to scare the mob. They didn't do that. I don't know why. Maybe they were scared, Munna said. As they approached the ISKCON temple and then these lanes, their numbers swelled even more. Most were unknown faces, but I think this couldn't have been done without the help of locals. There were some miscreants among Awami League supporters as well. We would find out later. The mob knew the location of this particular pandal, which is at the end of the lane. This information must have come from a local. I got down from the bike and ran towards them as they started raining down their sticks and rods on the doors of the houses. They turned towards me. Parts parts the hair on his skull to show us the scars. I fell face down on a ditch. I could have died that day. It's almost 6 p.m. and the priests at the ISKCON temple are tending to throng of devotees. Head priest Roshopriyo Das invites us to his room. The mob had ransacked this temple last year, and of the two people who were killed in Noakhali, one was a devotee of this temple. The body was found floating in the temple pond next day. Muslims visit ISKCON and have food with us. This temple does not discriminate. We have even allowed the Huzurs to come here and read the Quran. I asked the mob, why are they ransacking this place? They threw a brick at me as a reply. One Bhakt was hit and in the head and with a cleaver. Another was thrashed and forced to read Kalma, the Islamic oath of allegiance. They went inside the rooms of all our priests, the main office room, and broke everything they saw. They looted 12 lakhs in cash, took away laptops and desktops, broke the CCTV cameras, set fire to posters of our gods. On their way out, they killed that boy and threw his body in the pond. 1 year after the incident, as Durga Puja approaches again, does Roshopriyo Das feel safer? If a fake news item that a Hindu has kept the Quran at the feet of the Hanuman can lead to such mayhem, what hope do we have? He says, yes, only two people might have died in Noakhali in last year's violence, but look around and you will find boys and men without an arm or a leg walking around. They will remind you of what was. What was it like in 1946 when freedom from 200 years of British rule was becoming a reality? Bengali Hindu women and men in village after village in Noakhali district of undivided Bengal, The same place where we now are, were violated and killed or forcibly converted. Then, too, it had started with fake news. It was the time of Ghulam Sarwar Hussaini and Rajendra Lal Chaudhary, a prominent politician and a hereditary peer of Daira Sharif in Noakhali. Hussaini had considerable influence in the district. So did Rajendra Lal Chaudhary, the president of Noakhali Bar Association. But Hussaini was prepping for a sequel to the Great Calcutta killings of August, this time in favor of Muslims. He and his followers were setting the stage for a massacre by giving provocative speeches in rally after rally. He called on the persecuted Bihari Muslims who had settled in Noakhali. He created a force to provide the Biharis with security and accommodation. It was known as Miar Fauj, Mia's army. In October 1946, uh, Troyama Bondho, I can't pronounce it correctly. Troyama Bondho Khan, a saint from the Bharat Sevashram Sangha. Okay, Troyama Anando. Okay. Troyama Anando, a saint from the Bharat Sevashram Sangha, came to stay at Chaudhry's house in Korpara. Someone close to Hussaini is believed to have spread the rumor that Premanando wanted to perform some dark ritual with Muslim blood. This spread unrest. Hussaini took advantage of the rumor and announced to his supporters that he would cut off the heads of uh, Prema Anando and Chaudhary and also overthrew the Hindu zamindars of the area. On 11th October, a Muslim mob attacked Chaudhary's house. He, with his family members and neighbors, put up a courageous resistance, but not for long. The beheading of Rajendra Lal Chaudhary is etched forever in the Noakhali's bloodied history. Chaudhary was not the only one to fall that day. The houses of Suren Basu, a landlord of Narayanpur, was also attacked. Then they turned towards ordinary Hindus. 2 weeks after our 13th September visit to Noakhali, we make our way to Netaji Nagar colony in Howrah, West Bengal. As we reach Belur railway station and take an auto rickshaw through meandering lanes to reach the colony from where the partition history stares back at us, residents of the colony don't have legal papers for the plots on which their houses stand. They are refugees who escaped communal violence in what was once the eastern part of undivided Bengal and settled here. Smritikanta Bishwa's house, Smritikanta Bishwa's house is at the far end of the blind lane. Born and raised in pre-partition Noakhali, Smriti Kanto, okay, this is a female. Okay. Raised in pre-partition Noakhali, she saw the genocide of 1946 and has lived a long life remembering what happened. Now 90 now 90 age has confined her to the bed, but her mind meanders through the pages of history, her own, her own and of her people back when there was only one Bengal and one country. I have never been able to forget those days, she says, when neighbors became rioters and friends became murderers. The stench of blood haunts me to this day. When you told me you wanted to talk about the partition, my mind took me back to Noakhali of 1946. I was 12. Loot, arson, stabbings were becoming the order of the day. One of my sisters was just 7 months old. One day, some Hindu village elders took us to the Feni College building, which was close by. We left everything back home and took refuge there. Most of the Hindus from our village had huddled there. Later, some good-hearted Muslim men came to us and asked for our house keys so that they could bring us some money and gold. The building had a security guard. I remember he would come and tell us to make sure no one made any sound and make sure that the children remained silent. It should appear from outside that the college building was deserted, or else a mob could come and kill us all. But my 7-month-old sister cried out in hunger. We gave her some uh, treacle to make her stop crying, but she would start wailing soon after. My father told us that we had to kill her as she simply wouldn't stop crying, and her wails would bring the mob to us. She cried and cried till she cried no more. As Smritikanto pauses, Smritikanto, uh, Smritikona pauses, we do not have it in us to ask her why her sister didn't cry anymore, but that reminds us of the concept of flashbulb memory. Roger Brown and James Kulik coined the phrase Roger Brown and James Kulik coined the phrase flash bulb memory in 1977, which referred to an accurate and exceptionally vivid, long lasting memory for the circumstances surrounding learning about a dramatic event. Detail, vividness, accuracy, and resistance to forgetting were initially identified as the distinct properties of flashbulb memories. 78 years after she lived this horror, it must be flashbulb memory that makes Smritikona Bishas bring Noah Khali, bring Noah Khali of 1946 alive for us. After we came out of the college building, we rented a house near Feni station for nearly a month. She recalls, there was no food at home. My father's umbrella shop was gutted, but there were bigger scars. My parents would talk endlessly about women getting abducted. We were four sisters. One night my father didn't return. We feared the worst. Street stabbings of Hindus were rampant. He came back the next morning. He had spent the night atop a jackfruit tree after he saw a mob coming from a distance. Had he been seen, he would have been killed. From the tree, from the tree, he could see others being stabbed and houses being set on fire. Marion Hirsch, and William Peterfield Trent, Professor Emerita of English and Comparative Literature and Institute for the Study of Sexuality and Gender at Columbia University, who researches the transmission of memories of violence across generations, believes that the bodily, psychic, and affective impact of trauma and its aftermath, the ways in which one trauma can recall or reactivate the effects of another, exceed the bounds of traditional historical archives and methodologies. From Smithikona's retelling of the past, her father's fears for the safety of his four daughters hit us. We think of the day we spent in Noakhali just 2 weeks before and say a silent prayer for the survivors we meet. Smithikona continues, my father had seen how women were snatched away from their families, never to be found again. Many a times the families wouldn't look for them. There was nothing to find if they were lucky. Their abductors would marry them. Oral retellings of 1946 Noakhali violence find their way into the life of Mahatma Gandhi by American journalist and author Louis Fisher. Mr. Arthur Henderson told the House of Commons on November 4, 1946, that the dead people in Noakhali and contiguous uh, Tipra district had not yet been counted. Thousands of Hindu women were abducted and married to Muslims against their will. Hindu men were compelled to grow beards, to their to twist their loincloth the Muslim instead of the Hindu way, and to recite Quran. Stone idols were smashed and Hindu temples desecrated. Noakhali's Hindu women were the biggest victims in 1946. Muriel Lester, Gandhi's hostess during the Second Round Table Conference in England and also an international figure for peace, was shaken when she saw what happened to women. She visited Noakhali and wrote, "The worst of all was the plight of women. Several of them had to watch their husbands being murdered and then be forcibly converted and married to some of those responsible for their death. These women had a dead look. It was not despair. Nothing so active was there. It was blankness, the eating of beef and the declaration of allegiance to Islam has been forced upon many women as a price for their lives. The forced conversions make the 1946 Noakhali violence an interesting study. Rakesh Rakesh Betabial, a professor of history at Jawaharlal Nehru University, India, believes that the riots began with Islam and ended with Islam. In other words, religion was the point of this disagreement. In Noakhali, religion was also the instrument that ended the disagreement. The attack in Noakhali on Hindus by Muslims ended when the Hindus became Muslims. An assembly proceedings an assembly proceeding proves this. Husne Shahid Sohrawardi, the Prime Minister of Bengal in 1946-47, and later the Prime Minister of Pakistan in 1956-57, said in the floor of House that there were at least 9,895 cases of forcible conversions in Tipera. When asked about Noakhali, he couldn't give a figure but said it was in thousands as well. Sohrawardi may have undercounted. British Judge Edward Skinner Simpson's report says around 22,550 conversion cases were filed in three police stations, Faridganj, Chandpur, and Hajiganj. The entire population of three villages, Gupti, uh, Bastari, and Govindpur, were made to forcibly convert. Then Congress President Acharya Kripalani wrote in his report, even after looting and arson and murder, the Hindus in the locality were not safe unless they embraced Islam. As a sign of their conversion, they were supplied with white caps used by the Muslims for the locality. Very often, these caps were new and were stamped with the map of Pakistan, with the words Pakistan Zindabad and Ladke Lenge Pakistan. On the Saturday morning of 12th October 1946, around 200 Muslims came to our house and threatened us if we do not convert, they would kill us. To save our lives, we agreed. The Maulvi Sahib of Shahapur High School converted me and other members of my family to Islam. Then, from amongst the crowd, Maulvi Bodu Mia and Muhammad Mia Patari forced us to destroy the images and photographs of all gods and goddesses. On 13th October, they built a mosque in front of my house and later Kudur Mia, uh, Mujibul Haq Kerani and Khalik Mia demanded 1,000 rupee from me as contribution to the Muslim League. Statistically speaking, all police stations of Noakhali in 1946 were in, in charge of areas that had Muslims as majority and Hindus as minority. For example, Lokhipur police station had 40,019 Hindus and 2,21,765 Muslims. Ramganj police station had 47,814 Hindus and 1,10,707 Muslims. Uh, Sudharam police station had 32,724 Hindus and 1,82,736 Muslims. The total population of Noakhali in 1946 that came under jurisdiction, 15 police stations were divided into, okay, how do I, 2,93,303 Hindus and 14,32,254 Muslims. Those who managed to flee have never came back. Kolkata-based partition scholar Sandeep Bandyopadhyay quotes from an article written by Gopal Haldar. Even after Gandhi's appeals, most of them were not ready to go back. Where more than 80% are against us, they argued, how can we risk our lives on the assurance of a mere 20%. How different is Noakhali in 2022 after what happened in 2021? Bangladesh is the first constitutionally secular country in South Asia, having declared itself an explicitly secular state in 1972, 4 years before preamble of the constitution asserted that India was a secular nation with 42nd Amendment of the Constitution of India in 1976. Bangladesh was the first and only Muslim majority country in South Asia to have secularism in its constitution. Would all of that come to naught as we were leaving Noakhali? Mukta Das said, "What you see are corpses. Her words, her words stay in our minds." Durga Puja 2022 passed more or less peacefully in Bangladesh. We were back in India, saying a silent prayer for the Hindus in Bangladesh. Some of the women and men we met at Muqtada's house and outside in Noakhali sent us Bijoya greetings. Quick exchange told us all was well with them. Flowers, not gunpowders, greeted Goddess Durga in 2022. Joton Joton Saha would have been happy. So this is the first chapter of the book, a very interesting chapter. And okay, we have one more guest who has come. We will talk to him and then we will finish our stream. Uh, Hello, Obi.
Hello,
Yeah, please tell
am I
me what.
audible?
Yes, you are audible.
Yeah, I wanted to interject in the Noakhali 2021
Mm-hmm.
because I guess you can guess where I am from and who I am, but for the viewer, I can say that I was very close, not too close, but very close to what had happened. And I still today remember that that day the incident did not start because of like putting the Quran under the Hanuman statue. It actually started because when the Hindus saw like the women who went to the puja mandal after the afternoon, they saw Quran and they called police
Mm-hmm.
and a local guy. I think he
Mm-hmm.
may be a counselor or something. Uh, and the police actually filmed that video that there is a Quran under Hanuman statue. Uh, Sorry, not Hanuman statue. I am sorry. Under the statue of the Asur.
Okay.
So yeah, and then he posted the video online, and I
Mm-hmm.
remember that video was circulated like crazy. Like it had reached into the groups where students used to post about memes. Okay, generally Facebook groups in Bangladesh are like Twitter spaces which are restricted and you can post about only the topic, but somehow that video and that live stream got like posted in every group, and that's how it was like almost deliberately made uh, viral. Uh, I saw it like when it was live streamed like 10 minutes later, and I thought that this could not happen because at that time like I was growing up in the era of like Hasina, and not many communal things happened, or even if happened, like there was a case, I don't think if Deepda mentions the killing
Mm-hmm.
of Bishwajit Roy.
Mm-hmm.
Is it mentioned?
Not, no, no, it is not mentioned. It is not mentioned.
Okay, okay, if you have time I can talk about that also, because he was also like killed brutally under daylight, and it was in national news in Bangladesh. Killed by the party in power at that day. He was a
Mm-hmm.
Hindu, and like the accusation against him was that he was a shivir, which is the student wing of Jamaat Islami. But he was a Hindu and he was a tailor, almost like Kanaya Lal. Expect that worse, 10 times worse, because the boy was like, the boy had to run and openly there with the machetes killed him, and those that killed him were like the Awami League uh, student wings members, and none of the people who were outside, because the killing was happened in broad daylight in a busy area, because he was a tailor also, the boy, and none of them saved him, and the whole killing was advertised like a live, like videographed. That was the only case that I knew, but then it spread like deliberately like wildfire, and there is a mention of like a Jubo League member trying to stop it. Now it may be true, but the thing is that when it comes to religion, one has to understand is that there may be political rivals, but they do uh, like study under the same madrasa or the religious leader. And I have heard and known many Awami League members who actually like, they are Awami League in front, they do the politics, but inside their own lives they follow the preachers that are mostly leaned towards the hard lines and towards other parties. So that is how things happen, and that's what I want to say. uh, I hope Deepda mentioned Bishwajit Roy in the upcoming uh,
We need to see
like
because
chapters.
we just started reading the book. So see,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
there are a lot of incidents. So it will not be possible for author to actually list everything.
yeah. If it's not list, then like I have mentioned it, but um, from a Bangladeshi Hindu point of view, like there are some cases which shook every Hindu. Like there are cases, right? Like for Indians there are like 2611, and some scenarios which stuck in your mind. I remember I was not very young at that age, but it's still stuck in my mind. So it must be a very like bad news. uh, yeah, that's what I wanted to tell.
Yes, thank you. Thank you very much for your sharing that incident. So we will continue. We will continue our efforts, okay, to actually get a lot of people outside Bangladesh or West Bengal who are not familiar with this incident, what's happening and how it happened, the historical part of it, psychology of it. So it's our endeavor to do that, and your contribution by sharing these anecdotes helps a lot to actually give a ground situation what's really happening. So we really appreciate you.
Yeah, I think it's more important than ever, because like when I watched the reactions to CAA, like later when I had access to internet and mobile, I saw that the reaction towards those who don't know what is happening in Bangladesh, their reaction is not like horrifying or urgent. That their reaction is like there may be turmoil happening, and I have seen the Bangladesh situation termed as turmoil, or just some sporadic violences. But if one reads books that Deep Haldar wrote, then it would be evident. And even as a Bangladeshi Hindu, I do not know a lot of cases that Deepda had mentioned, that even it slipped my mind, who knows about the community and who lives in the community. So if someone who is outside of Bengal reads this, then he would be more inclined towards the struggles of Hindus, and maybe he would be also questioning why is CAA still 2014 date, because all of the stories that Deepda narrates are like horrifying. Like one would ask, why would a person live there still? Like you have mentioned that the widow or the sister of the killed
Yes.
person
Mm,
still lives,
mm, mm, mm.
and one if one has empathy in him, then he would ask that obviously they need to get out, or they need to find a safe place. So that's, I think, important. This book is very, very important.
We have again with us Slavin, who has joined. Slavin, you want to say something?
Hi, can you hear me now?
Yeah, could you just put your mic again? I think your mic is somewhere little bit far from your vocal cords. So if you can just.
The problem is that with this one, okay, I'll just improve my mic volume. Now can you hear better?
Nah, now
I
it's better.
increased
Please,
mic
please,
volume.
please go ahead. Please go ahead. We can hear better now.
Yeah. So I just wanted to like ask you guys a question. So in Maharashtra, there are certain communities who, you know, what we call as caste or jati. So they are known to protect the rest of us when such things happen. So especially, you know, like there is a community called Koi or fisher people, you know, fish fishermen community. So
Mm-hmm.
they are known to protect us in when such times. Even their ladies are, you know, they use that thing called, we call it koita, a sort of curved knife or something. So even they are very, you know, dangerous, those. So and there is an community called Agri who are like the original farmers and owners of land in Mumbai, Navi Mumbai area, New
Mm-hmm.
Bombay area. So they are known to be, they are very, you know, aggressive, and they are known to be drinking and, you know, all
Mm-hmm.
such sort of, they are sort of rough community,
Mm-hmm.
if you can put it that way. But in times of trouble, they are the ones who will help you or save you. So I wanted to ask you guys if there's any such sort of thing over there as well. That's it. Thank you. Bye bye.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, that's a very interesting point given. So, OP, do you have like those kind of communities who specialize in protecting people?
Um, Not deliberately. Like there are like clusters of Hindus in certain
Mm-hmm.
areas related to professions like jailers or kamars.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Kamars are the people who make swords. A lot of like lower income Hindus in Bangladesh still do the professions of garbage collection and fishermen and sword makers. So they usually live in clusters, and in those areas, if violence happens, they I have seen that they are able to manage
Mm-hmm.
some things, or they are able to save their belongings because they live in a cluster and everyone helps one another. Like the most violence that happened to them is burning. So outsiders deliberately burn their houses because their houses are made of wood and other burned materials, so they are easily burned. So yeah, though they are like they have to defend themselves, they have nowhere to run or go, so they defend themselves. But there is not like a specific community which comes to save other Hindus. Like let's say there are like the Hindus who are middle class or upper middle class, they also live in like you choose to live in areas where there are Hindus, expect for like job requirements. they are not like, they don't have that much protection, and like the clusters that I talk about, they don't come to save the other Hindus. So there isn't like a specific community or specific profession based community which comes out to save another community. um, I have not seen that instances. I have seen in villages where like I said, where there is a cluster, they come out to save the mandirs. Like even in this book, the story of the person who was beaten at first, then he went to again to stop them and save the mandir. These kind of situations happen. But and some people go out, and it's not like Bangladeshi Hindus don't try to protect. Like in 2024, I know in city areas, uh, basically we have perception that the people who are poor, they save their belongings and mandirs. But I have seen that in even metro areas where there are where mandirs, and the Hindus living in those metro areas actually came out with weapons, like homemade weapons, usually like da boti, what they are,
Mm-hmm.
like for
Mm-hmm.
cutting sandwiches and vegetables. With
Mm-hmm.
those weapons in front of mandirs, and some crowds they were able to deter. So
Mm-hmm.
it happened, but the point is there, it does not happen in large scale, because there is not like a leadership, or there are not like organizations or like sangatans who uh, like Anushilon Samiti that happened for Bengal in pre in partition. This type of organizations, there isn't one, and there isn't like a central leadership of Hindus, or people that Hindus aspire to, those who give calls to save one another. There isn't like that. So Hindus in Bangladesh are fractured in that sense, and that's why we do not see the responses like in Maharashtra, the person mentioned, um, because those community may have some people who all know that they may be like this, but they come in case of emergency or not. But we do not have such community or organizations that we can go to for help. The maximum we can do is ask or plead the 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 army or police in that case. And that's what we did in 5th August. And we also did plead Indians and people like you and others, and we are thankful for that, because you guys also contributed to our safety through raising your voices. Because if it hadn't been for your voices and that amplification of the narrative, uh, then maybe the army did not or would not have taken swift action. Because after the first ounces of violence, the army did control some of the areas which violence happened. So yeah.
Yeah. So thank you, Ovi, for your insights and inputs, and thank also Slavin for sharing us bit of anecdotes of information, which is generally not available to a lot of people because you live locally there. So you gave us a lot of good incidents, good anecdotes to for us to actually end our session today. We'll continue to do such programs, read few more books. We'll try to. So again, people who are this book is available in English. So if you, I have few copies of the book available with me. So if people want the English version or the Bengali version of the book, you can send us an email at navavimarsh@gmail.com, and we will send you a free complimentary copy, English or Bengali, whichever you want. So people who are listening, if you want, like if you cannot purchase the book, Bengali book purchase, if you want to purchase it, very good. But in case you are unable to purchase it, do send us an email. We'll provide the book to you so that we can read the Bengali version or the English version, both of them. Also, the link is available in the description, also in the chat. So you can go to the description of on YouTube, and you can find the link. We can buy the book, or send us an email. We'll try to send you a copy of it so you can read it. So on that, Obi, thank you. Thank you for your contribution, and thank you to other guests also who came.
I
Yeah.
need the copy actually. This is not available in my country.
You will get a soft copy, correct?
Yeah,
because
I probably need to study in PDF.
yeah, I think soft copy is available also on the website, so we can provide that as well. So we'll purchase a soft copy and give it to you, or you can purchase it by yourself as well. Anyways, send us an email. We'll connect. We'll try to give you a copy, both of them.
Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, do send us an email. Then we'll try to arrange something for the people who want to do it. We'll try as much as possible at the individual level to provide. But people who can, do go ahead and buy the books. If you do not know or how to find the book, you can send us an email, and we will get in touch with the people who can provide the book, especially the Bengali book. The Bengali book is not available online, but if somebody sends us an email with details, then we will help them to procure the physical copy of the book, the Bengali copy, especially who want to have it. So on this note, thank you everybody for joining, for listening, for giving the time, and we'll continue to do the readings and try our best to inform the general public about what's happening, especially in Bangladesh, and also a reflection of what is going to happen in West Bengal. So thank you. Jai Shri Ram. Vande Mataram.